How do you explain to the police that your girlfriend, the woman that you live with, the woman who has been with you and only you last night, is now dead? Stone cold dead. Not only that, but how is it that she no longer has a face? Well, officer, I know her head looks like a pound of raw hamburger meat, but it's beyond me how it got that way. I don't think so. Or maybe, honestly, sir, the doctors told me she'd make it after the motorcycle accident, but I guess they discharged her too early. Fat chance. How do you explain the strange events that led up to this without them immediately thinking you're guilty as sin? Even if you're not. I honestly have no idea, but I'm going to try here first. Tell me how I do. For the past 2 weeks, we had birds nesting in the wall behind our bed. They chirped and squawked and made such a racket, even at night, that it became nearly impossible to sleep. I started by banging on the wall with my fist. That worked at first. They'd shut up for a while and then I'd have to bang on the wall again. But they soon realized that, while loud and scary, the pounding wasn't going to hurt them. So they just kept on making noise. 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 We just tried putting up with it, thinking either they'd move out soon or we'd just get used to the ruckus and sleep right through it. But nope. Just when we started to drift into rapid eye movement, a loud burst of caws, squawks, and flapping would wake us from our slumber. My eyes were becoming perpetually red. My meetings at work even more contentious than usual. The final straw came when the baby birds hatched. The bothersome racket turned into a non-stop chorus of desperate and demanding peeping. If sleep was difficult before, it was downright impossible now. Had clawing my ears off been a viable option, I may have resorted to it. The next day, I called an exterminator and gave him a rundown of the situation. We scheduled an appointment. A gruff, older man showed up a few days later. He climbed up on a ladder on the outside of the wall and had a look inside the small hole. Great, these are the kind you can still kill. Well, I guess that makes it easier. I responded, "Oh yeah, we'll just close off the hole with some aluminum paneling and that'll be that." So they just slowly die inside the wall? Yup, it'll probably stink like hell for a bit, but it'll pass. Alright, I guess if that's how it's done. He went ahead and put a small square of metal across the opening. It was painted brown to match the natural wood color of our siding. You could barely see it unless you knew it was there. The cheeping continued in the wall for about another 3 days. Outside, you could see the mother bird searching desperately for the opening, trying to bring food to her young. On the 4th day, all the noise had stopped. They had gotten much quieter the day before, obviously growing very weak. But now it was all over for them. They had slowly starved to death inside the wall. Outside, the mother had given up and moved on. It was a pretty awful fate when you thought about it. Just a bunch of tiny, helpless little creatures that never got a chance at life. Slowly dying inside that dark space. I tried to keep my mind off of it. That, and the fact that there were now a bunch of tiny skeletons forever entombed inside the wall, just behind where we slept. As the exterminator said, the area began to smell awful. The odor of rotting flesh seeping through the drywall into our bedroom. We had to sleep on the couches for the next few nights. Finally, the smell subsided, and life could finally go back to normal. At least, that's what I thought. After a few nights of normal sleep, I began to dream that something was pecking and biting at my head and scalp. I'd wake up, slap at the top of my head, then realize nothing was there. I told my girlfriend about it, and she said it hadn't happened to her, and she had no idea. She said I was probably feeling guilty for killing the baby birds and imagining things. I figured she was probably right and decided to forget it. I went on with my day as normal. The next night, however, I awoke to a particular painful biting sensation on my scalp. I jumped up in bed and yelled out, "Christ, what the fuck was that? What happened? Are you okay?" My girlfriend cried. "I think I really got bit this time." "You're just imagining it," she said, turning the bedside lamp on. "See, there's nothing in here but you and I." I put my fingers to my head where I had felt the bite, and my fingers touched something wet and warm. I brought my hand in front of my eyes to see. It was blood. I showed her my hand with an "I told you so" look on my face. "You probably just bumped your head on the headboard while you were sleeping. Lord knows, you've been tossing and turning like a madman lately." "Whatever," I said, "but I'm not sleeping in this fucking room anymore." "Alright, well, enjoy the couch," she fired back. "That old thing always makes my back hurt like hell in the morning." I said goodnight and went downstairs. I laid down and almost immediately fell into a deep and dreamless sleep. The next morning, I got up and went into the kitchen for my coffee. My girlfriend was still in bed, but that was nothing unusual as she normally sleeps later than me. I drank my coffee, watched the news, and had a bagel with cream cheese for breakfast. Around 9 a.m., I realized she still wasn't up. She normally got out of bed around 8:30 to get ready for work at 10. If she slept much longer, she'd be late. Irritably, I pried myself off the couch, second coffee in hand, and headed up the stairs. "Hey, sleepy woman, time to get up or you're going to be late for work." I called on my way up, but there was no reply. She must have been really out. I got to the top of the stairs, knocked loudly on the door, then immediately began to open it. "Rise and I dropped my coffee on the floor, shattering the mug and spilling the hot brown liquid everywhere. There, in the bed, was the dead body of my girlfriend. Her hands were frozen with rigor mortis in front of her face in a last-ditch defensive posture. Her nose, cheeks, lips, eyes, and throat had all been pecked out and eaten. I called 911 reflexively, even though there was nothing they could do and I'd likely be the one to take blame. So anyways, as I write this, I can hear the sirens coming. I still have no idea what I'm going to tell them when they get here. Maybe, "No, officer, it wasn't me. It was the evil demon ghost birds that live in my walls." No, I didn't think so either. Well, if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. I'm sure they're pretty better than mine. Just make sure to type them fast. I don't know if they have internet in prison. Shout out to my superfans, Sweet Black Swan and Tacy. I really appreciate you guys supporting my channel, and I look forward to creating more content for everyone.